Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hardnumber4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, Merry Christmas. Hello.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm back.
How you feeling?
Relieved. 3-day fucking Amazon roadshow delivering packages to every divorced parent and different part of somebody's family. Just finally got home last night, so happy to be back. Caught up on some wrestling.
Watch lots of wrestling. Chris, how are you?
Fantastic. Dealing with a little bit of a cold here, but I'll be good. Easy weekend. Ain't got none of that. That's
Any
it.
questions or anything about last week's episode? Did you check it out?
No questions. Why did I miss something?
Just curious. I asked Brandon, and he had lots of things to talk about.
No, he's better than me. What can I say? I got other shit.
You sound like you got other shit going on.
Well, I got a possible match coming up on the 11th of January.
Okay.
At 2300, not 2300. I'm sorry, at the Sheet Metal Workers Hall in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of training.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm really goddamn tired from it.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
And yeah, so I've just been kind of focused. I've been very tunnel vision on jiu-jitsu over the last couple weeks. So that's about it. That's all. It's not that I'm not, attempting not to go out there in front of a number of people that I don't know and look like shit. I mean, that's really, and if I can,
that's important.
If I can ruin somebody's fucking life for 5 minutes, then that's an even better fucking, or should I say, when I ruin somebody's life for 5 minutes, that's an even better. That's a bonus.
There you go.
You know anything about your opponent?
I don't have one yet. That's the problem.
Okay.
What's the date of this?
It would be January, I believe. Let me look. It's January 11th, I think.
You'll have to reschedule. We're doing the Wrestle Kingdom review.
Yeah, I won't be there for it. No, it's I'm sorry, January 14th. That's Saturday. I don't know why I keep thinking it's the 11th. It's the 14th of January.
Oh, you're safe. You can do it.
Oh, good. You can go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to hold back at all.
I don't have to hold back. I don't have to save any of my energy. So no, I mean, yeah. So that's been on my mind. Just not so much the match itself, but just trying to be in the best physical condition I could be in, cardio wise, stamina wise, conditioning wise. Everything else just kind of, I shut everything down. I don't try to learn anything new, and just work with what I got, and just get better at what I have, and just keep my my conditioning as high as possible. Which is, you think your conditioning is good until you go, guys, compete for a living.
Right.
And then you realize what conditioning really is. And these are guys that I know, that I'm training with. And Jesus Christ, man. I mean, fucking animals. But
you're waiting to crack the Yellowstone monopoly open.
Waiting to crack open that Yellowstone monopoly. Dude, they're in my feed now. So I expect to be getting a lot of Yellowstone.
There's a prequel, right?
Cole Hauser with a dyed black beard. I say it all the time. It's my biggest beef. It comes with wrestling too. We talk about it all the time. It's like, in what world are we supposed to look at these people and okay, who believes that this is how tough people act? Guys that are usually men and women that are usually pretty tough and pretty sure of themselves are usually very reserved. Right? They're not out there looming over people, and I don't know. So I've been getting all these and it's the same thing like Seinfeld. I don't watch Seinfeld anymore because my life is just reels of Seinfeld getting fed to me. I don't need to watch it anymore. It's fantastic. Right? I just keep getting the one-liners from Seinfeld in my Instagram stories. Well, now I don't know what happened, and it was before I sent you guys one, I believe. But it's all Yellowstone in my reels in the algorithm. And I don't know why, because I've never watched that show.
There's a little spot down at the bottom where you can click on it.
Yeah.
You can ask to not see these anymore, and they'll ask you why, and you say, this topic doesn't interest me.
Right, but then I won't get them to send them to people.
Oh, okay. So you want them. Okay.
No, I mean, I don't want them, but I'm making the best out of getting them.
Super tough.
That Instagram Reels is wild as shit. I deleted TikTok and then it just funneled over to that one because it's addicting. They really got it cranked up to 11 over there.
Yeah, they do.
Like the first 10 videos I got are like, it was like a chody dog, like some kind of fucked up dog sprinting around his yard. There's
The one with just
people getting hit by cars and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
Good time.
Yeah,
You
I
thank
mean,
me for that. My feed is insane. I like it that way.
yeah. I've been getting a taste of your world now, like you are, Chris. Getting some from Jimmy.
Yeah,
A dog dropping a pile of shit in a lady's lap.
that's my dude. That was
So
my
good.
favorite. She's gagging.
It's so orange. Like, they were like, oh, we don't have any. Oh, fuck, we got to go on this road trip. We haven't fed the dog. We don't have anything. Oh, quick, give him a stick of Velveeta.
It's like 10
poison.
shits.
It's a poison shit, is what it is. Like, the dog is sick.
It's sick. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God, it probably smells so bad.
Oh, and
It's
she's
orange.
gagging. She's like,
Pull the fuck over. And then I was thinking of theories. Okay, so she's got them. It's all over her pants. Now imagine this happens to you, and you're like, I'm not wearing those pants are going out the fucking window. So I got to pull them off, right, with the shit all over them. But I got to kind of capture it all in the crotch, and then pull it off my feet. And then I got a satchel, like a bum satchel on a stick, that thing, tied off of my pants. That shit's going out the window. Cop sees me throwing it, pulls me over. Now I got to explain why I'm dick out in the car. I can explain this to the cop. There you go.
Now, are you taking your underwear off too when you're doing that?
Oh yeah, because the shit water probably soaked all the way.
It's too late.
Nuts. I'm probably taking those the Armor All wipes, probably wiping my dick and balls off, get all that fucking poop out of there. Oh my God, it's so shiny.
Have a sheen to it.
Oh, God,
smooth and slippery.
Your balls just smell like diarrhea and Armor All.
And Armor All. I already thought this all out. There we go. Let's talk about wrestling.
Let's do it.
Do you want to? Anything good? Any good shit happen over Christmas? Because we got a quick episode this week.
I'm trying to think.
Brandon?
I know there was stuff I wanted to bring up, but I just can't remember it right now.
Personally?
Yeah. Anything crazy?
Yeah, not that crazy. I did like an active service thing. There's this guy, like this local bum that my girlfriend's mom works at a law office, and the guy can't take care of himself. They kind of give him free legal advice. So we they're like, can we drop a box of food over? He's alone for Christmas, but they don't want him to know it's from us because they don't want the guy coming around even more than he does. So my face is unrecognizable. So I'm like, okay, I'll drop it at the doorstep, ring the doorbell, and bolt. Like basically ding dong ditch this old fucking disabled guy, but with baked ziti. And we get up to his house, and he's got one of those it's that plastic white fencing with the white caps. Like it's all just like Lego connected together.
Right.
But it's in a handicap ramp, like Z pattern. So you got to go up, down to get to his front doorstep for whatever reason. So I get up there and I see he's got the Ring camera. So I know he can see me. I ring the doorbell. It starts buzzing throughout this guy's house. And then I try to bolt obstacle course style and just immediately shoulder the fucking one of those white caps with the light and everything. And it goes, I kick it down the guy's fucking ramp. And I got to chase it down, run back. So I'm trying to make sure I didn't break this guy's shit, put it back on. Everybody's in the car laughing. I'm just I'm sure this is all on video. So I'm waiting for this week at some point he'll show back up at this law office and be like, who the fuck was this guy in my house? I want to call the cops. He broke my goddamn light.
I'd like to file a lawsuit.
If I get it, finally he now has some real legal reason to be there. Somebody busted into his property, dropped baked ziti off, and cracked his railings. That's about as crazy as it got on my end.
Chris, you said you might have something?
Oh, well, I got crazy. I watched 2 superhero movies this weekend.
Which one?
All right. So first, if you obviously this movie was filmed while they were filming the actual movie that it's connected to, and they took a day off to film the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I watched that. That was cute.
It's fucking terrible.
It was cute.
Nah, it wasn't cute. It was bad.
It was cute.
It was so bad. It was so bad. It was what I no, listen, it was fun. It was cute. It was obviously like, yo, listen, instead of doing scene whatever on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're gonna shoot this Christmas special because Kevin Bacon's in town. And we're gonna whisk him in. We'll do this out in 2 days and then go back to shooting the movie. That's what that was. I had and look, I'm not saying it like, well, they should have done this because it's obvious what they did. I had high hopes for it being really, really fun because Werewolf by Night was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of, they were just like, yeah, come on, let's just do this. Instead of going to lunch today, we're going to do this real quick and we'll let everybody go an hour early. It's one of those jobs. And then I watch, and this is wrestling related. I wasn't going to bring it up. And then I realized last night I got about 45 minutes into Black Adam.
Dwayne Rick Johnson. Yes. Go ahead.
Wow. Talk about a vanity project going fucking south, man. What a piece of shit that was. My God. It was just like, I text Jim, Black Adam. He said, nah. I was like, why? They got a kid in it. Like it's 1990. Like, hey, I'll help out Black Adam. So you have this like murderous, rampaging, super semi-villain, right?
In Black Adam, you're describing
Black Adam, yeah, and then you have, which is Black Adam. I mean, he's a dick, and he's a dick in the comic books, and and then you got this kid like, you got to be our hero. So it's very like Terminator 2, but not good. Not
Right.
that Terminator 2 is great. It was fun. It wasn't that great.
It's good,
but it's good. It's good. It's good. Talk to the hand. But it's that's three.
There we
I
go.
don't even remember. So but yeah, so he what and this was like, so I guess this was supposedly like the deep dive into the DC universe, and that was gonna spawn off all their extended shit, and it's a fucking abomination. It's fucking horrible. And at the end, spoiler alert, post credits or near the end, I just saw the scene. I didn't even watch long enough. Henry Cavill pops up as Superman and then is promptly let go by them. And he's not fucking Superman anymore.
I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers and their obsession with getting the superhero movies made.
I don't know. Or being it was like first of all, like, you know, one of the things that I don't want to say excited, I was interested in seeing was that they were going to introduce the Justice Society. That's a television show. That's not a feature film. Nobody cares.
This whole thing is a secondary character's bad guy.
Yeah.
Shazam's bad guy. Shazam's a secondary character. If he's not in the original Justice League storyline,
no,
he's secondary.
And
then you're going to take his bad guy, his villain, his arch nemesis, and you're going to make a movie out of it and just attach Dwayne Johnson and be like, hey, pay attention to this. This is important.
Well, that was him pushing that for years, too.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to make it really bad. And, no, you made it, buddy. It sucked.
There you go. Congrats.
Yeah. So that's my review.
That one was so bad, I saw that they immediately canceled all plans for any future movies while it was still in the movie theater.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're at right now. You know, and they do these little television shows that appeal to an audience. And I'm not a part of that audience, which is fine. Not everything has to be made for me. But they had all these television shows that they were running, and people liked them. But it was Warner Brothers. Like, how do I make more money?
Mm-hmm.
And they have to make, now you got movies with, like, you know, the Flash is a crazy person, so you can't make Flash movies.
You mean the actor is?
Yeah, the actor. You have Aquaman, where the female lead is involved in complete and total insanity with that Johnny Depp trial. That was insanity. And then you have Henry Cavill, who you bring in, who, in my opinion, was an amazing Superman's a tough sell. He's an amazing Superman, and then you kind of don't want to use him, and then you do want to use him, and then you say, we don't want to use you anymore. You have Ben Affleck, who looked best looking, in my opinion, Batman in that Batman Superman movie, and you just tossed him aside. He was workable. You got rid of him. It's just such an odds. And Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, who is, in my opinion, a complete and total dud.
I disagree. I love that first battle of the movie.
Well, I guess it was the second one did it. The second one
was
not good.
Yeah, well, the cheetah character was kind of weird.
Yeah, so I don't know. Enough on that. Let's talk about another fantasy world.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Brandon?
What the guy's going to do Warhammer now, right, Henry? That's cool.
Supposedly, yeah.
Get him out.
Fucking right. Well, he's got to deal with Amazon. That's the rumor. That's what he announced, that he has to deal with Amazon. So
that should be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's a big, massive fanboy, so it's going to be another fan project. So who knows how this is going to go?
He better cast himself as the Emperor. Just sits in the chair the whole time.
Dead. 1%. There are 3 people in this that listen to this podcast that probably got that reference, and all 3 of them are talking to each other right now.
Right. All right, there you go. I got nothing. I didn't do anything. I started what's it called? Alice in Borderland season 2. Did you check that out, Brandon? Season 1?
No, I never even heard of it.
It's on Netflix. The first season was very good. Second season we just started, and world building, and then they always with these series that are good, it's world building, and then by like the 3rd or 4th episode, you're like, oh shit, that episode was fucking amazing, and then you're like hooked for the rest. That's where we're at now.
Okay.
The season 2 is pretty
place
good.
To be.
Yeah, it's basically parallel dimension. That's all we know so far. I'm guessing that it's all AI. It's all they're all hooked up to machines. That's what I'm going to guess. But like the Emperor. Yeah, a little Westworld. They're all robots. But that's all I'm saying.
Nice. Well, let me know what that is.
Yeah. All right, I guess we'll talk about wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling. They had their last Road to Tokyo Dome show. It was the end of Suzukigun. So we had Suzukigun versus Suzukigun in the main event. But before that, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. We had a Good Guys versus Los Ingobernables de Japón match. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ryusuke Taguchi, wonder who's taking the pin, and Shota Umino. And Shota Umino looked like $1 million fucking bucks. Brandon, thoughts?
He did, yeah. This is pretty much the Wrestle Kingdom match, but they sub Taguchi for Muda, so they're setting up the spot there for Muda to make the difference in the final. But Shota Umino is the real fucking story here. Good job by him.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm digging this dude, man. To me, he came out of nowhere. I know that, he was like a young boy firm for a while, and then he was popping up in AEW, and I just didn't put the pieces together because we were in such a lag with New Japan that I wasn't really paying attention to anything that they were doing. And he just slid in there, and it's fun to see like a new star that is going to be good, and this dude has it. And I'm very excited for him because, New Japan is just like every other. They might tell their stories a little bit differently, so it stays exciting because they build with inside of stories, where you'll have like babyface A can't beat heel A's certain thing, and then over time he learns to beat it, so the heel has to change what he's going to do in a match, and it's always a little bit different. So they can run these storylines for so long that you don't really realize, or they can revisit them, that you don't really realize that you've been watching the same 2 dudes wrestle for a year and a half. And you forget that I've been watching all the same dudes for a year and a half. So it interjects some new life into them, which has been happening here and there. So I'm excited. This guy's really good.
Yeah, nice little program with him. I don't know if it's going to start off next year, but him and Tetsuya Naito would be a nice little test for Shota Umino. Let Naito put him over. You know what I mean? Next up, I talked about this last week. Kazuchika Okada, Yo, and Master Wato versus the Bullet Club team. And there's no Jay White. Jay White has not been involved in this fucking build to this main event. And it just further solidifies my theory that he is not coming back next year to New Japan. Brandon, go ahead.
I think you're probably right here.
Right.
which is a bummer for me. That's the main thing here. I mean, what we get from this then is a 6-man tag match with one of the 6 people being Kazuchika Okada, and he's not really the highlight of the match. So that's all you really need to know.
Yeah, Chris, good.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like you were saying about Jay White. You know, it didn't really occur to me, but I know that their contracts usually end after Wrestle Kingdom, so they wrap everything up, which is actually works out better for us as fans, where they don't just continue stupid shit going on. You know, you get the ending at WrestleMania or whatever a big show is, and then you're like, oh, it's great. And then on Monday night they come back and it's the same shit over and over again. So they have a tendency of actually new year, new shit, which I like. But I had no idea that, you know, it just didn't occur to me that we hadn't seen Jay White in a while. But we have Gato coming out to his music. It's kind of
right. What a fucking
it's kind of strange.
What a
holding his
sub-in.
necklace.
Yeah, what a sub in for Jay White. We get his manager.
You get Gato. I mean, you know, he got beat up, but it is what it is. You know,
it's interesting that you would think that this was the build. Like the build for this should be for Kazuchika Okada versus Jay White should have been the build in this match. Instead, they just made it the build between Yo and Taiji Ishimori for their tag match. I guess they had to move the shit around because I'm pretty sure, and I checked last week, that Jay White was listed for the show. I'm not seeing anybody coming out and complaining about that, but it's a little fucking odd that this was the let's put Kazuchika Okada in a match that's going to put over the junior heavyweight championship tag team championship. Brannigan.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know if they have anything to add.
So the big thing about this show was the Suzukigun final match. El Desperado, Lance Archer, who flew over, Minoru Suzuki, Taka Michinoku versus Dookie, Taichi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Zack Sabre Jr. in a very, very entertaining, very tear-jerking, fun match. I really enjoyed this. Brandon, thoughts?
It was, yeah. It's kind of snuck up on me. I mean, we knew it was coming, but all of a sudden, watching it live, you're like, "Holy shit! This is they're putting Minoru Suzuki down like an old dog here. Everybody has to hold hands and fuck him up. You get the Iron Hand out?
Yeah.
From Taichi. That was fucking awesome.
Izuka made an appearance. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. I didn't even know who that was. I had to look him up. But JC, please fill me in on that when I'm done talking. But if I only had one small caveat, some of those final shots, I think Dookie's and Taichi's, they shot him at a bad angle where you can kind of see him laying off on him, and I'm like, man, this is a fucking strong style, you know, serious wrestler, and don't get his final blows be kind of tempered. So that was, you know, besides that, you know, Jesus, emotional. Zack Sabre really fucking lays it in at the end there. So he immediately buckles over crying. And, you know, we talked about this before the podcast. Fill me in when we get to it on what was said after the match, because I'm curious.
Chris, you want me to do that now, or you want to?
No, I can chime in really quick.
Good.
Can we? I'll just say one thing. Can we give Minoru Suzuki a lot of credit for wrapping it up while he could still go?
Now this is just him. This is just him ending Suzukigun. He still wants to wrestle.
Oh, okay.
And he said it. Let me say that in the promo afterwards. He says, "Suzukigun may be done, but I'm not done wrestling. I started wrestling in New Japan to go after the IWGP Championship. There's age is just a number, and I should be able to go after it. And I'm going to keep trying to go for the IW. I think he's going to be one of these guys that they can heat up once in a while for. I wouldn't be against him winning.
Oh no, neither would I.
Beating like some scummy bad guy like Evil wins it, and then he feuds with Minoru Suzuki and loses it to Minoru Suzuki, or Minoru Suzuki, wins the title off of Evil or something like that. That wouldn't be terrible. That'd be a good story and something to have in your back pocket. Go ahead.
Well, I guess the point I was making is that this dude can still go as well as anybody else in professional wrestling right now. I mean, it's not like he's working a style where you got to be a kid. You know what I mean? I mean, he's tremendous at what he does, and he still pulls it off at his age, and he's still got a few years under his belt. I mean, it's not like he comes out and it's like, oh no, and it's nowhere near that. He comes out and you go, fuck yeah. You know, so we could still use a couple years of this guy. I didn't realize that. I thought he was like on his retirement tour.
Nah, they're just hanging up Suzukigun every 10 years.
Okay.
Their whole gimmick was that they were a bunch of losers that got together under Suzuki, and that they were like a gang of misfits.
Gotcha.
And I think they've kind of outgrown that, especially Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi. They've kind of outgrown that. Yoshinobu Kanemaru's getting up there in age. He's going to start doing different stuff. El Desperado just did that match with fucking, what's his name? The Crazy Monkey, which was fucking insane in September. So he can do his own stuff. Lance Archer's not coming back anymore. He can pop up once in a while. He's in the United States now.
Right.
And Taka has got his own company. So it's an interesting thing where it's like these guys are going to, and Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi and his thing, basically it's implied that Dangerous Tekkers is done now. So they're really going to split these guys up. And it's interesting because some of these guys are in the prime of their career. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. in particular, El Desperado. I'd like to see what they do. Brandon, go.
Yeah, who was the other guy that you guys
Izuka?
mentioned in the match? The surprise.
Okay,
What's
so
the deal with that?
I'll tell you a story with him. So Izuka back when when Pride was big, when Pride Fighting Championships was big in Japan in the early 2000s. New Japan decided they were going to become shoot fighting. It's fucking terrible. It's awful to watch. And Izuka was one of these guys who was a legit fighter. There's a lot of guys there in New Japan that are legit fighters. Izuka was one of them. Morning Monster Morning, he was one of them. Chris, Monster Morning, what's his name?
Give me a sec. I'm sorry. You caught me mid-blow.
It's I forget his name. Legit fighter. Like some of these guys are legit.
The Loogie Man.
Guys. They're legit tough guys. And they were in this thing, and he was one of these guys. Now, when Gato took over, the story is that when Gato took over, he's like, we're getting rid of this shit. We're not doing this anymore. We're going to become a professional wrestling company. We're done with this. And he asked him, he's like, either you can do one of two things. You can go become a coach, or you can become a crazy person. I got this story for you. Because he was a boring wrestler. He was boring. It's like you can be a crazy person. You're going to be a wild man. We're going to put you on the chain. We're going to walk around with you, and it's Nakanishi, by the way. It's
not Ken Shamrocky.
And have him. He was just like I'm a wild monster, and he was like, all right, I'll do that. And for like 5 years, that's what he did. Totally out of his wheelhouse. He just played this monster on a chain. He always ate the pin, but he had the iron claw. And when he retired, he gave the iron hand. I think it's the iron fist of doom or something like that. He gave it, when he retired, he gave it to Taichi. And for a while there, Taichi was using it all the time. Like he would pretend he was possessed by the wild man. So there's a story behind it, It went on for a little while, and they retired that. But it was nice that he came out. It was a surprise. You could tell everybody in the crowd was surprised by it. It was pretty cool.
Oh, can we discuss the crowd actually being able to get excited?
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Cheering crowd?
That. Yeah.
No, you know what? The crowd was able to it wasn't a cheering crowd, right? Because nobody said Kaze ni Nare, correct? When he was singing?
Oh, they did?
Did they?
Oh, you know what? No, I'm mistaking that with he was in a match in Taka's promotion.
Yeah, Taka Taichi Mania, yeah.
Yeah.
That was an exciting crowd.
That was I'm getting the matches confused. And we didn't talk about that. Are we going to talk about that
That's
at all
from September, so we're not going to talk about it now.
Well, can I just ask you something?
Yo.
Real quick, because while we're here and we're talking about Minoru Suzuki, he wrestled a guy. He was in a 6-man on that card, and he wrestled a really ugly, large man.
Shrek?
Is that his name?
That's his name, Shrek.
He's a monster, man.
Hideous man.
Oh.
I forget his real name, but his wrestling name is Shrek. His name's whatever his Japanese name is, Shrek.
Google that,
dude. Fucking Shrek.
Check out that show. That show's fun.
That was fun.
The whole show.
That was one of my favorite Eastbound and Down jokes. That first episode when he moves into his brother's house. I don't know if you guys watch that show, but he moves into his brother's house, and they're eating dinner, and she's like, "That's our daughter Rose. We named her after Titanic." And the other kid is this huge fat kid with bleached blonde hair, and Kenny Powers spits out his food. And he goes, "Y'all named your kid after fucking Titanic?" He points at the fat kid. And he goes, "Who's this? Fucking Shrek?" So good.
Danny McBride, in my opinion, this is the way I can ingest this. Danny McBride is like Will Ferrell. I can't watch really anything with him in it. but in little spurts, he's the funniest thing ever. I just can't. To me, a little of him goes a really long way.
Speaking of which, Will Ferrell is isn't he the car dealer, the Ric Flair car dealer, swinger in that show?
In that show, Ashley Schaefer. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Swinger car dealer, and he goes, woo, woo. He's Ric Flair. He's got the hair and everything.
Scott over here will finger you with his penis. Woo, woo, woo.
It's so stupid. Anyway, this
show has a lot of jokes in it. Yeah. Anyway,
if you want to get excited for Wrestle Kingdom, and you're having a hard time doing it, check out the 8-man match between Suzukigun. It's definitely worth it. Everything else?
Yeah, this was. Oh, sorry. I was going to say this was like I'm a sucker for a good holiday wrestling event.
Mm-hmm.
It's a specific to me. I feel like I don't share it with my family, but it's like a good Christmas thing for me. I think this hit that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later. I think today.
Yeah, there's some Christmas shit that went on later. All right. Any final thoughts on the show, Chris?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, let's move on. Stardom Dream Queendom II. Queendom. We talked a little bit about it last week. We are getting the show. It'll be on the 29th, I believe, which is tomorrow, 2 days from now. We're not going to get it live, but we'll be able to watch some of these matches afterwards. Real quick, go through some of these because there's some stipulations that have been added. Tommy Hayashishita versus Kairi, non-title match. Whoever loses has to wrestle in their debut costume with no gown, no special ring entrance, and they have to just run to the ring. There you go. High stakes. Brandon thoughts.
It's a decent enough way to put some stakes, some disrespect into a match that otherwise, maybe, despite the fact it probably doesn't need any, doesn't necessarily have them. I don't think Kyrie has lost once, right? Since at least not that I've seen. And
Has she lost?
Tommy.
No, I don't think she's lost. She might have been a tag team that lost.
Utami when I started watching was the big show in town. So
yeah.
What way to spice it up than to make one of them sprint to the ring like a fucking idiot dressed like a baby for the future.
To be dressed like an 18-year-old debutante running to the ring. Chris thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say, but I think the age brackets are way too high. I think that them running to the ring like that will bring some bone to the bone bags.
Bone to the bone,
but
boys.
Kyrie is definitely too old.
She's too old. Sorry.
Yeah, Kyrie's definitely too old.
She's
for
like
the bone
legal.
bags. She bones my bone bag, but not a bone bag wearing bone bag.
Not bone bagger.
That bone.
Too old.
Yeah. I let my bone fly. I don't need a bag to cover up my bone.
It's a pretty good match between Izumi and Hikaru Shimizu, who you guys don't know, and you probably don't need to know because she's going to lose. Also, 6-woman tag. We talked about this, the hardcore tag team match for the Artists of Stardom Championship, which is spoiling the tournament, but Hideo Tai versus Prominence, that should be pretty damn good. We're getting Risa Sara Suzuki and Aragi Kurumi for Prominence are going to come over. It's a hardcore match. So Risa Sara is probably going to be bleeding on accent.
Who's the Oda Tai team?
Edo Tai team is Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Saki Kashima. So there you go. Momo's there.
Momo will be whacking people with a wrench, hopefully.
Yep. Their baseball bat. That's her new thing.
Baseball bat and a wrench stuck in her pants.
She whacks, like, they don't pretend it's, like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a real baseball bat. And she's in there beating the shit out of people with it, like whacking them in the back. It's pretty good. It's not very realistic, but it's pretty good. Also, we're getting the tag team match for the Goddess Stardom Championship. Meltier, Tom Nakano, and Natsupoi versus 7-Up, Anai Takahashi and you. This should actually be a very good match. I'm excited for this one. But little wrinkle in it. Tom Nakano recently said that Waka Tsukiyama, we may know her as the girl that never wins. She's never won a single match in her entire career. She's up to 120, I believe, matches that she hasn't won. Tom Nakano has said, if you don't win in the next 2 months, you're out. I'm kicking you out of my group. Tom was crying when she had to tell her that. Very dramatic.
She's always crying. Ratty ass hair.
Quite the fucking leash this lady got. Jeez Louise. It's like trying to find somebody to work in the kitchen at a restaurant, right? It's like if you go over 120, you got 2 more months.
Oh my God. Does this thank you, Brandon? This one hits home for me. Like, oh, you want to show up for work drunk? That's no problem. Here's a raise.
And they're crying.
That's the business right now.
I'm sorry I have to. I'm sorry I have to give you a raise.
I'm sorry I have to do this, but we're gonna let you work here still.
You're promoted. It's like the guy that worked in the mailroom at Pendant Publishing or wherever the hell it was.
Oh my God. I had a girlfriend. I really liked her. She stopped calling me. That's what caused them to go crazy. That guy.
Yeah. She stopped calling me. He was never in Vietnam. No. Singles match for the World of Stardom Championship. Saya Kamitani against Haruka Umasaki, which we have talked about. Newcomer to Stardom, pretty much. I'm thinking this might be her signing with the company, but Saya wins. Also, singles match for the World of Stardom Championship, a match we've been waiting a year for. Suri versus Julia. This one should be a big one. Brandon, final thoughts on this show before we have to watch it this weekend? At least 3 of these matches we have to watch. Good.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for the main event. Card is, I wouldn't say dense, but I think it's pretty evenly spaced out. I wouldn't be mad if we had to watch more than 2 or 3 of them. So,
yeah, and there's a couple of these matches that have implications. There's a 3-way match to determine the number 1 contender for the tag championship, which would be a good one. Their Stardom's multi-person matches are very good. Chris, any final thoughts on this? Questions, concerns, anything?
No, this is I'll watch this.
Yeah, should be good. It's got all our favorites in it. Most importantly, it's got all our.
I'm sure this will be coming up a month from now, and we do our best of the year show.
Yeah, it's especially a fucking Siri match. I mean, I hope it lives up to expectation. All right, are you talking about Dynamite?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm exhaling as if it was a bad show. This was a good show, especially a Christmas week show. I was into it. And we'll talk about some specifics. Some stuff that was actually fucking amazing. But first up, we get our Ricky Starks comes out, does a pretty damn good promo. The JAS come out. And listen, I'm kind of on board with this whole stupid thing. I don't know. I love it. And we talked about how, Ricky Starks, maybe he lost in his match, and he says it at first, like, I didn't go the way I wanted to. But now he's right in the fucking program with one of the big dogs of the company, Jericho. So doesn't hurt too bad, does it? Brandon, thoughts?
I like these. I'd be getting a kick out of these like late '90s club glasses coming back. These like the silver sunglasses that.
Yeah.
My dad used to rock those. You didn't see those for a long time. Daniel Garcia has them on here. That still gets a pop out of me every time. But yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with it at this being funny. Jericho looks like he was legit bored, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want for a little while here."
Chris,
I'll tell you what, man. Jericho, I mean, sprinkled throughout the entire year, but definitely at the end of 2022, this guy's been on fire. Like, he's legit on fire. He's got on fire so hard that he's actually casting it in people's faces still.
It looked like he burned Steal Your Girl Action Andretti's face off. Well,
stay away from that guy.
Yeah, stay away from.
But like when you get him doing what he wants to do, he's just let off the leash. He's a very creative individual, and he can get pretty much anything over. He's one of the greats. And January 6th.
What did Ricky Starks say? He said Jericho last year was built like an air fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look good. You should be proud of yourself. Last year, you're built like an air fryer.
Good shit, brother.
Nice one.
Yeah. That's the 7 series. The Elite versus Death Triangle, no DQ match number 5. There was a Christmas tree in this. Very dangerous wire. What do you say? Those artificial pine needles. Very dangerous. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, they're leaning on the commentary team here to try to inject some excitement into this. I think last week we were talking about, boy, wouldn't it be cool if this just went out in 5? They'd surprise us and it was a 5-match series. But no, it looks like we're trending towards 7 here. I think they're leaning on whatever they got, Christmas trees, if that's what it must be.
I'm not going to say this wasn't fun. This is probably a lot of fun live. But, we know where it's going, so it's kind of like I don't mind skipping through commercials, and if I miss a couple minutes of the return, I'm like, okay.
I just like legit hate them. Like I can't. I just like legit hate these guys.
I don't hate Omega. I just the Bucks don't do it for me, man. They're bad actors. Their faces always look the same, no matter what their expression is. So he's like kind of like a I'm on TV, aren't I, face? Their camera rolling? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a little smirk.
Yeah.
Even when they're mad, they're smirking.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Chris, go ahead.
Do you like? I know you know this, Jim, because and then Brandy, you probably know from personal experience, but Jim, you know this from your daughter used to watch those Disney shows, and whenever the person that wasn't talking was waiting for their turn, like
they're mouthing it almost.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is like. I will say this: when you interject anything, whenever they have a Christmas show and the Christmas trees and candy canes and all that shit go flying, I always, but it doesn't matter who's involved in it, it always pops the shit out of me.
I love it.
Because, we I complain about repetition over and over again, but you can only repeat this once a year, and it's so fucking stupid. And it's not like, Brock slamming the Big Show and the ring collapses, and then you do that a second time 5 years later. It just sucks because this was very special. It ain't that special. It ain't that fucking creative. It's Christmas time, and somebody's getting thrown into a Christmas tree, and there's candy canes flying and fucking Christmas balls getting smashed and people getting power bombed into them, and it's just fucking insanity. And I think it's great every year when they do a holiday wrestling show. When you were saying that earlier, I was kind of biting my lip because I wanted to say, like, dude, and holiday wrestling shows always have the dumbest shit happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with any time on WWE when there's a cake. You look at it and a big smile on your face. You're like, somebody's going into that. And you don't give a shit. You know it's going to happen.
Food fight every time WWE does it.
Yeah. Whenever
they're like, we're having a big Thanksgiving feast. Everybody come on down. And there's like some guy that you haven't seen on television in like fucking 6 weeks is down here.
Yeah.
And he's eating potato salad. Before you know it, they're all throwing food in each other's face.
Mojo Rawley's womp, 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 covered in potato salad.
Somebody's wearing a turkey as a hat.
Yeah. So I love this. This pops me every year they do it. What was the one year when they put the pumpkin on Cesaro's head and he suplexed the skeleton? Like, that kind of shit. It's just so fucking dumb. You just laugh at it and move on because it doesn't mean shit. So I enjoyed this match. But like you said, like, it's typical. It's almost like the typical wrestling thing where it's like, they've lost the theory of, George Costanza. That's it. I'm out of here. They lost, like, leaving people wanting more. Like, this was a best of 5. No, we can stretch 7 weeks out of this. Yeah, but by the end of it, nobody wants to see it anymore. You're just like, all right. I mean, look, I don't know how many people. All right, so I don't know how many people that AEW is getting in each market, but I would willing to bet that a majority of the people in each market don't go to AEW, right? And then you look at, like, all the people that go to AEW, I'm willing to bet, because we've been there. You see how they react. A lot of those people are big fans of the Elite. And you exist, I've said it before, you exist in this echo chamber where you think it's cool and a large number of the people in the stadium think it's cool. So then it must be cool, but you're not looking outside of that. And I'm sure there's quite a few people who are like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, enough. You don't have that much time. They do 2 hours a week. I'm not counting Dynamite because it doesn't fucking matter.
Right. Or you mean Rampage?
Rampage. It doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares about it. It sucks. So I'm not
Number
counting
was pretty
that.
good this week. They got 500,000 watching them this week.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Yeah, it could have had something to do with the fact that it was like, the day before Christmas Eve. I don't know. I'm pulling shit out of my ass. But I'm just curious. I'm sure you have a lot of people out there that want to see more of some of the other. You don't have that much time on your TV show.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, or if you want to stretch it, you can get 10 days out of it if you do it every other week. I don't know. Or maybe do one on a Friday. Who knows? I'm just saying it's overkill. It's overkill. They've always done it. Everybody in wrestling does it. If they like it once, give it to them 10 times.
Right. I mean, WWE basically exists on nostalgia.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. Move on. Brandon, thoughts?
I'm good.
Okay. I do. One thing I wanted to say was, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Penta El Zero Miedo grab the hammer and start beating the fucking piss out of One of the Jackson brothers who's beating him with the hammer after the match.
Hammer to the head, yeah. The nice
over again
holiday gimmick.
Merry Christmas. Let me beat your head in with a hammer.
Love it.
Okay. Danielson thing was terrible. You raggedy bitch was good though. You raggedy. Let's see. Skip.
Danielson wasn't terrible, but the rest of it was.
Oh, it was so bad. Vegetable Man. What the fuck was that? Do you want to talk about Exodus Prime?
the Hebrew Transformer? Exodus Prime?
Exodus Prime.
I don't know if I really do want to talk about him. This was what the fuck is this, man? I might want to go back to the workshop.
Yeah. Trying to find something worth talking about. Oh, God. Okay. You know what? Let's talk about fucking Rick Ross being on the show because I do have a point to make about this. So, all right. Long story short, Rick Ross is in the ring. He's out there with Keith Lee. Swerve Strickland sends in Parker Boudreaux and some fucking dude with a knot top with tattoos all over his face. First of all, Parker Boudreaux, why does he do that thing after he kicks and punches somebody every time? He does his like arms slapping together thing. He's slapping his arms together after he punches and kicks people.
Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah, like the Boogie Woogie Man. I will say this though, and I was thinking about this. Now, there's a distinct difference. And maybe it has to do with like sponsors and blah, 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 WWE, the way that they work and trying to be clean for kids. The guest stars on AEW are quote unquote cooler. They're a lot cooler.
Much cooler.
We get Rick Ross. We got Action Bronson. You know what I mean? Like we get people that are like, you watch it and you're like, oh, that dude fucking rules. This is awesome. WWE's guys, you got the fucking that boxing YouTuber guy. Like he's not cool. I will say Bad Bunny is pretty damn cool. But Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think that you could probably get more out of him. Like I enjoyed when Action Bronson came in the ring and kind of got it going a little bit. They had Westside Gun. That's another rapper that I like when they were in Buffalo. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I mean, the Shaq match was a huge hit.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You kind of when those guys come on, I think the first thing and the only thing that's really going through my head is like, how far are they going to go with this? Rick Ross was about a 2 out of 10 on that scale.
Big motherfucker. That was worth it, man. That was good.
Yeah, but then they do this and then they have them. You ever see those like photo montages if it's like this is what crystal meth does?
Yeah,
and it's like all the mug shots. This guy comes out who's like the final mug shot. and they have like Keith Lee fucking selling to him. I'm like, they just hyped him up. Rick Ross is awesome rapper, said he's a big motherfucker, and then we're watching him get smoked by a bottomed out juggalo.
Yeah, nobody knew who he was. Like still don't know who he is, and I'm not going to go out of my way to find out. Right?
I do like. I think it was Taz. Like at some points with this, how goofy this show gets, Taz is starting to break and is openly just being like, what the fuck is going on in front of my face? You definitely got that in that moment. It's just like he almost started laughing. He's just like, who is this guy?
Who is this man? Who is this guy? This is interesting. This is an interesting choice. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I have none. I think you're right on that. That they definitely have. I mean, so WWE, I would assume that they're going to have more mainstream people with something to push that they can tie into their product. And I mean, when has anything all that mainstream really been cool, right? I mean,
that's true.
It's like whatever. So, and then
you get for all the shit we give AEW for, in particular the Elite and Kenny Omega being like cheesy and corny, and they are, compared to WWE, they are the cool product. This is the cool thing to watch. This is what the cool kids are watching. Nobody's 100%. Watching. Geeks are watching WWE. Now, to the same point, a couple weeks ago, we said how geeky our fucking audience was. Once again, Texas killing it. Fucking San Antonio was awesome, and it was fun, and everybody was into it, and everybody's having a good time. Philly, I'm laying into you. The 30 people that listen to this show, you need to fucking get cooler.
You guys got to figure something out.
Figure something out. Man.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think, it's more of just something fun to do, maybe in Texas. It's a thing
we talked about.
Do. Yeah, we talked about it. And here it's just, stay away.
I'm a wrestling fan. Go to wrestling.
Stay away from my
Don't
thing.
touch. I'm gatekeeping.
I told this story. I apologize if I told this on the podcast last week, and if I did, please stop. But I
2 weeks
remember
ago, you
telling
weren't
this
here last week, but go ahead.
2 weeks ago. I know that I definitely didn't. So, when I used to work in the club business, when I used to be a doorman, excuse me, we would have goth nights, right? And, we all know the goth kids dancing under a bridge. In general, the goth kids, out of all the nights that I was working, that are different kind of club nights, different types of genres, the goth kids didn't really bring the cool.
Right, of course.
Let's be honest, okay? You're into what you're into, and I think it's awesome, but they weren't bringing the cool. And then they would have a big show, a big goth night at a club called Egypt on Delaware Ave in Philly once a year. And they would flex whatever power that they now had, because they were in control of the venue, on everybody that came in, to the point where I got told, I went to go meet some friends there, and they wouldn't let me in for whatever reason, and I was just like, yeah, fucking blow them.
Sorry, you're wearing white.
Fuck you. I had a t-shirt on that was black. I wore a black t-shirt, black jeans, whatever. Yeah, we can't let you in, just not against the dress code. And I remember looking at the one guy, I said, wait till the next time you try to get in. And I walked away. Right? But it's a gatekeeping thing where you feel that because once again, this isn't a mainstream product. And then you have this, I had a conversation with my buddy who runs a comic book store in Old City. And it was we had this conversation about these types of people that kind of just drag everything down because they feel like shit. And that's wrestling when you go to wrestling in Philadelphia. Yeah. And say what you will about it. ECW, when it was in my opinion, its worst. I'm not going to sit here and praise ECW as being great wrestling. It never was.
It was terrible wrestling.
It was terrible.
It was fun when we went.
But remember when it started to get big, it was like what you're talking about in Texas.
Yeah.
All the dudes that I knew, guys that I lived with, like that were friends of a roommate, and they would move into the house for a while, and I had WWE Network, and I would be like, oh yeah, there's ECW on there. They all watched it because that was what they thought was fun.
It was the fun stuff.
And they enjoyed it, and they didn't watch any other wrestling, but they went to ECW shows.
Right.
And I think they need to somehow bring that. I don't know how you do it, because it's so, I don't know about other markets, but it's such a Philly thing. Like, how do you kind of bolster up the fan base in specific towns? It's very difficult to do it unless you run out of that town.
Right.
So we're stuck with it.
It's the classic Simpsons comic book guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
There's a reason why that stereotype exists.
Yeah.
They nailed it with him. That's who we got.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all I got. Main event. I predicted it would be the main event, and I was correct. AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter. Hikaru Shida said she was going to teach Jamie Hayter the true form Japanese Joshi style, and this match fucking ruled. Brandon, thoughts?
It did, yeah. Holy shit, main event. They finally did it. I'm not even going to say anything bad about how many times they didn't do it. This was a good time. Wild as hell. I was very pleased with the audience. Speaking of some of our experiences in Philadelphia, was if not the most fun part about watching this was how fucking on their feet everybody was by the end of it.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen this before live, where with the Philly crowd, they're got their thumb up their ass for the women's match. But whenever Hikaru Shida's involved in it, she ends up like Riho was the same way. Jamie Hayter does it. Who was the former champ? the blonde girl.
Toni Storm?
Yeah, Toni Storm. She's able to do it just by pure performance level. They're able to win over a crowd. But this crowd was into it from the get-go. Chris, thoughts?
No, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with two people that were in the ring. Once again, I'm not going to poo-poo it, but of course, they can't do anything in the women's division without Britt Baker being involved in it in some way, shape, or form. All right.
Well, I'm going to counter this.
Okay.
Because she is Jamie Hayter's sidekick, so you knew she was going to be involved in this match. That was part of the package.
Mm-hmm.
You were getting what if this was a very AEW match? Lots of bullshit with her. There was a lot of bullshit in those triple threat matches between the Bucks and the other guys. This is just American wrestling.
Yeah,
and this is the type of shit that happens. I get it. Everybody wanted it to be a one-on-one match. I also wanted it to be a one-on-one match. And when she came into the ring, I was like, oh, Christ. But it worked out because she looked like an ass in it, and she looked bad. You know what I mean? She didn't really have a factor in the outcome of the match, besides being a distraction. So I didn't necessarily hate it. I thought that this was perfectly fine, the storyline. At no point did it make Jamie Hayter look like less than the champ. She looked like the champ. She just needed some help because her card sheet is that good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. You changed my mind. It was fantastic. No, seriously. Yeah, it makes sense. It does. And it does make sense. She didn't it wasn't one of these matches where two people were in a ring and then a third comes in for no reason. I mean, she's there all the time.
She's always there.
Always there.
Yeah. Brandon.
I mean, sure, yeah, that's a good way to look at it, but that's kind of what being the champ is that you shouldn't need the fucking help. But I get it. That's what they did. It didn't ruin it for me.
Yeah. I guess she's still a heel, Jamie Hayter, even though she gets cheered all the time. Promos still say she's a heel, I guess.
And Britt Baker, I mean, even though they cheer her, she behaves like such a heel. She's nothing but a heel.
Yeah.
Remember when she was a babyface? Didn't work.
Didn't work at all. No. Anyway, I think this was easily the best women's match they've had.
Oh,
at least live. I can't remember. I mean, at least on Dynamite, I can't remember. There's a couple of good. Riho and Nyla Rose match was really fucking good too from last year, I believe. But this match was fucking ridiculous. It was amazing. It was fun. It was awesome. And when you get two people that can really fucking work and work a style that works, it's high impact. They're just doing. You know what? Some people are shocked, and even the commentary team are shocked at how hard hitting the match is. They're just doing what the dudes do, man. It's just women doing it. They're hitting each other just as hard as the dudes do. It's fucking great. This was great. I loved it. I watched it twice. That's how much I loved it. I came in my pants. It was so good. Brandon, follow us.
Came in my bone bag.
Bone bag.
All over the bottom.
I wasn't boned up from it. The action was so intense that I was just like rocking back and forth on my couch. And then before you know, I was like, oh, that kind of feels good.
Hands free ejac.
Yeah, hands free ejac. Boom. Boom. Final thoughts on AEW Dynamite from this week, Brandon.
I mean, if that's not a ringing endorsement for that match, I don't know what is. No,
hands-free jack. I hands-free jack this match.
We're they don't have a pay-per-view for like months, so we're getting a lot of this bullshit that just has to rise and fizzle when that's the state of affairs. But I think they had a good little holiday thing going on here. This is fun TV. I think you could just watch this like a TV show and just get a kick out of it.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Good TV show. Chris, final thoughts.
No, you're Brandon nailed it. I got nothing else to say. This was a good TV show, and the holiday specials tend to be pretty good. This one didn't this was no different.
Speaking of holiday special, New Year's Smash this week on AEW, as in tomorrow. Best of 7 series, match number 6, Falls Count Anywhere, Death Triangle versus the Elite. TNT Championship match, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. We get Ethan Page versus Bryan Danielson. Top Flight versus Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley. And Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale against Anna Jay and Tay Mello. Brandon, what you got? Anything?
What do I got? No, this is going to be one where the bottom of the list matches are going to have to keep it afloat here because I don't care about too much of what's going on at the top of the list.
Right, like the Trios Championship best of match is probably going to
correct.
be the main event,
Yeah,
since it's false count anywhere. It's going to be a tough one. Chris?
Mello.
Mello.
Junkerton.
There you go.
What did I wait? Hold on. What was that lady's name? Crappy Poopy Pants. I named somebody in a message to you guys. Go ahead, finish.
So
I got nothing.
There you go. Next week, hopefully we'll have Dream Queendom finished up, and we'll have our it's the night before, the eve of Itayon Wrestle Kingdom, January 3rd. We'll be recording. You excited, Brandon? You getting fired up? What are we doing? We forgot to ask Chris. We mentioned it last week. Is Chris going to make it?
Is Chris going to make what?
Wrestle Kingdom. Doesn't sound like you got some training to do.
No. Chris isn't going to make Wrestle Kingdom.
One track mind.
Yeah, I gotta be focused. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, my friend. Tunnel vision.
Will you be able to record the night before? Or Brandon and I will be handling the pre.
No, it's the Tuesday before we'll be recording. Yeah. I'll be fine.
You okay?
Yeah.
You just can't be up from the hours of 1 to 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, that might screw up my training schedule.
Okay.
But then that might change because we go into the week of it. I'm switching my schedule. If I don't have a match by that time, I'm out. I'm pulling out. I'm not taking one on the last day's notice because that means I had to take off a night of work.
Right.
And if I don't get a match, then I took off a night of work for nothing. And the reason why I have the 11th stuck in my head is the 11th we will be seeing Shin Ultraman in Cherry Hill Mall.
Oh fuck! That's right.
Cherry Hill. Yeah.
Damn, we're gonna hope. Oh, the 11th. Okay.
That's the 11th. It's the next week, isn't it?
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
The 11th.
What's this?
Shin Ultraman. It's a Dekiano Kikuchi movie. He did Shin Godzilla. Did you ever see Shin Godzilla?
No.
Oh.
So the guy that was the two guys that directed and created Neon Genesis Evangelion did a Godzilla film about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was about that.
Fucking spectacular.
It was a great movie to watch during COVID because it was all about your government just not knowing what the fuck to do and arguing with one another.
It's a big like expose critique of the Japanese government's handling of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. But it involves Godzilla, and it's got a great fucking Godzilla monster design. It's totally different than the shit you're used to. It's a great fucking movie.
It's pretty cool.
But he's doing a bunch of these. They're called Shin. Shin basically means new. Like Shin Nihon Pro Wrestling. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he's doing a Shin Ultraman, which is new Ultraman. Ultraman's an old tokusatsu series that I watched when I was a little kid, and I've been obsessed with it my entire life. He came out with a new one. It came out in November. No, when the fuck did it come out? September. It's finally getting a release in the United States in January. We got tickets to it. It's in Cherry Hill.
Ooh, that should be sick.
It should be good.
Oh, we'll work around it.
It's fine. It's the day after. We'll be fine.
Well, we're also going to do at my house. We're going to have a Yellowstone Monopoly tournament. So if you want to come over,
can I be Jeb Tucker?
Yeah, you be Jeb Tucker. I'm going to be, I forget, I don't know what her name is in the show, but I just realized when I named her Garbage Can Poop Poop, the actress that's the star of that show.
So there's a prequel to the show, right?
There's two prequels.
That's your,
wait a minute.
Your little Monopoly piece instead of the thimble, your little garbage can of poo poo.
Garbage Can Poop
Poop. Get little flies on it.
Garbage Can Poop Poop.
So there's two prequels?
Yeah, there's two prequels. So
there's that much lore to Yellowstone?
There's what are they? What's their names? The Duttons. There's
the Hatfields and the McCoys.
1890 something, I
saw
think.
That one. 1852 or some shit.
Whatever. And that's the Duttons going to where the ranch is. And then there's this one.
Gotta take out these natives.
One. Yeah, oh yeah, of course. No, they didn't do any of that. Only bad people did that.
Yeah, not the Duttons.
Right. They didn't do not the Duttons. And then
they trying to preserve.
Yeah. And then now there's a new one out there. It's called like
1928,
1923.
Okay.
And that's got Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren in it.
Okay, that's the ad I saw.
Yeah, and then that's the prequel. And then I think what it is that Yellowstone is done at some point, and they're focusing on the lore of it, so the lead-ins to it. Excellent.
Great.
I can't wait to watch none of it.
Great. Sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, like Yellowstone.
Gotta protect the heritage.
Paramount really thinks that I'm going to skip past Star Trek to watch this? I mean, come on, man. You fucking crazy? I opened all of my Star Trek Mego action figures, by the way. I had them hanging on the wall. Yeah, they were ugly boxes, and they look much cooler. If you look right there, they're all lined up behind me.
Okay, I can see them kind of.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. It was fun.
One of them.
Christmas morning. Christmas, I got, I forgot to say, I got a bunch of gifts that were boxes with Post-it notes with what was supposed to be in the box written on it.
Didn't show up yet.
No. So not to go off on this because
those are better than cash, some say.
Yeah. So so when we first moved, so 2019, we moved into our house and I got a new truck and I was talking to my wife and she says, are we like going to exchange gifts? And I said, no. I said, I got a new truck. We got a new house. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then last year we said, all right, we're going to get each other gifts, but we're only spending like $20-$30. That's it. Right. Just something little. And then I started, as we were approaching Christmas, I started kind of getting the feeling that we were progressing into a family that doesn't give a shit about these things. And I didn't want to be that.
About what, the holidays?
Yeah, it's just like, okay. I didn't want to, we were starting down a road of, we didn't have any I didn't put any decorations up, only because we were getting work done. So I just didn't feel like digging through the garage.
If you're watching on YouTube, those lights that are blinking in Chris's house,
they're my only Christmas lights.
Always
why are they blinking over there?
I don't know.
Anyway, I got to fix them. So anyway, we weren't really getting into it, and I was afraid that we were going to turn these people.
I won't allow it.
So I wouldn't allow it. And she was the same way. So we went and we said, look, I said, I don't care. We're going to put $100 limit. I don't care if you get me $100 worth of crap. I want there to be a opening. We can sit here and open and have our coffee and eat our cookies and have a Christmas morning. And we don't have kids. It's just the two of us. And so we decided to do that. Nothing came.
It says his boxes are empty.
So his boxes with Post-its. And
That's
one
cool,
of them were, what's that? Yeah, you pulled it out. It was a coffee. It was supposed to be a coffee mug. It was a coffee mug we already had with the Post-it saying, this isn't the coffee mug you're getting another one.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, it was great. I laughed my ass off. We had a great little Christmas. And then but yeah, so I was worried. But I had my Christmas decoration, my Christmas tree this year was my rubber tree that I keep outside during the summer, decorated. So that's where we're at in this house.
Get a little fakey, man.
That's what we're going to do. I just have a lot.
Need a big one. Just get a little one.
And it's just not something I wanted to spend money on this year. We just, the amount of money we dropped on the improvements it ain't cheap.
We got a new star that shoots snowflakes on the ceiling.
That's
like
cool.
Laser beams.
I'm
all about Christmas. Like laser beams. I'm all about Christmas. I love it. But we did not. We went on vacation instead of buying each other gifts.
Well, there you go, though. That was your gift.
We're also going down to Ventnor for the polar bear plunge on New Year's. We're going to be down there for 2 days.
You jumping in the water?
Of course.
Fuck that.
The tiny tanker day at Ventnor, New Jersey.
Yeah, little peckers.
The great shrinkage.
Yeah, I did it before. Another thing. My buddy hit me up and he's like, sent me pictures because I think it happened 5 years ago. He sent me pictures of us down there doing it, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll come down again. And I talked to my wife, and we looked at the schedule and everything, and I looked at an Airbnb, and it wasn't too expensive, and I was like, sure, we're staying 2 nights.
I like that. I like that move.
What else am I going to do? Sit here?
Staying in an Airbnb. Staying in anybody's. Fuck you. I'll stay in an Airbnb.
Oh, I'm not. No, I can't. There's like 8 kids in the house.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Fuck that. I go home. And
when I agreed to do it, it was like the count was like 7 kids. Then another buddy hit me up this morning. He's like, "Hey, you're going down there? I'm thinking about going there. I'm going down too on New Year's Day to jump in the water. His kid's coming too. There's gonna be fucking kids out the ass." I was like,
"Nope.
We can stop by, say hi, maybe have a cocktail, some lunch, and say see you later. We're going back to our room. See you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm a grown ass man. I don't sleep on people's couches anymore. Fuck all that.
I was going to take off New Year's Day, and I need new tires for my truck, so I'll be working New Year's Day.
Get the mums.
Yeah, mums. We don't get the mums anymore.
It's gonna rain anyway. It's gonna be.
In the morning, there's still gonna be mums. They're not gonna make them do it another day. They're not locking the streets down.
Oh no, they're doing it, but you might not have the same crowd that you would.
I don't get a crowd anyway.
Oh, right.
Because they push everything south. They don't go north anymore.
Oh well,
I'm sorry. I'm so sad. I don't get to look at you.
I like watching it on TV. The mummers.
I don't want. I really don't care.
It's so stupid.
So goddamn dumb.
And you just wait for the racist shit to pop up.
Yeah, and then for them to say we're not racist.
There's a guy right there with blackface. There he is. You just wait for it.
It'll happen.
Every year it happens.
Every year.
Yeah, they just can't resist it. They're like, I'm not racist. See, one spot on my face is red. The rest is all black. See, I'm red with black. Not all black. Not all blackface.
I hate him.
That one guy, remember the video of him? And he's going, I got friends. They're black. They said there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, where are they?
Where are they at?
What do you call them when they leave the room? What do you call them when they don't do everything you ask them to do? Like if you need a favor and they can't do it, what do you call them after that?
Which word do you call them when they leave?
What word do you call them by? Your friends.
There's like one of those
being white in America.
There's one of those boxes with a slit in the top where you can like drop ideas in of how to get away with it for next year.
Yeah. I was thinking we'll go out white face, right? And then we'll wipe it off, and underneath it'll be the black face when the camera's. So that's perfect. That's a great idea. Hey, I'm 75 years old. Pass me some of that Coke.
So I had a guy I know. He's from oh man, where's he?
Real quick.
The
cocaine thing.
Yeah.
I used to march with the mummers every year. An old man dropped dead on fucking Broad Street and held up the parade because he was dead. They really do speak.
Fucking bullshit.
Swear to God. Every fucking year.
Oh, fucking lies on that.
No, I swear to God. The one year it was like held up for like 40 minutes because some guy fucking dropped dead right on the street. It's always like, we're going to do a remembrance to Johnny Bops. He's been with the club for 55 years. He started when he was fucking 8. Poor man, he had a heart attack.
I mean, I'm not
700 pounds, and he just did a fucking 8-ball coke before 9 o'clock in the morning.
He's been working on suits all night. He was gluing the flowers on the suits all night long.
I'm not endorsing that or encouraging it, but it's just goddamn, am I glad that exists? That somebody that's maybe one of the funniest ways you could die is to explode on New Year's Day, dressed up as a mummer on cocaine.
I know somebody that almost did.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was
one of
the
funniest last moments you could possibly have. Please
continue. They were imported illegal Indian diet pills that I ate.
Oh no.
I'm dying.
Yeah, you're lucky you're not dead.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. I was like, you're damn right. I'll be all right.
Unbelievable.
Start seeing spots.
It's bad.
Good stuff.
We I have a kid who's I'm marching with so and so this year. Blah blah blah. And I said he's from Ohio. I said, do me a favor and listen to me. And what is it? Listen to me now and hear me later. Don't talk to anybody you don't know. He's like, whoa, what do you mean? I said, look, you're going to meet some guys. They're going to be fine. And a switch is going to turn and they're not going to be fine anymore. You're going to be peeing in a porta-john and you're going to take a second too long after being in there 5 seconds. 6 is too long and one of them's going to boot the door in on you because that's the way they behave. I said, just, I would have an escape.
Be smart.
Like, don't go back to the club.
No, don't do that.
Come here. The club isn't in, South Philly. It's far away. Don't go there. When they all go back, you come here.
Mm-hmm.
I told him. I said, be smart.
What club is he marching with?
I don't even want to bring it up.
Okay.
I don't want to talk.
The one that everyone marches with?
No.
Okay.
No, not that one. The one that gets in all the trouble every year.
Okay. Gotcha. Yes. That was Fruit Loops. The Fruit Loops one.
Fruit Loops. Oh, what do you mean? It's not offensive. Yeah.
It was during the Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner.
Because you cared.
Because they cared that way.
Because
They
you
had to
cared
have
so much.
Fruit Loops.
This is the hill you're gonna die on.
Because it really matters. Oh, mummers.
I still call them the Redskins. Well, good for you.
Okay.
An idiot.
Cool.
That's the
Here's
hill
your
you're
fucking
gonna die
trophy.
on. The football team that A, being from Philadelphia, you hate. B, isn't the team you root for anyway. Like, it's not the team you root for, and it's the opposite of that. You hate them because they're in the division.
Right.
But you're upset because they're not named what they were when you were a kid.
Listen, Chris, if you're gonna kneel for this flag, you need to get the fuck out of this country, man.
Stand for the flag. Stand for the flag. Kneel for the fallen. Fucking break your fucking jaw.
You got all of them.
Chris knows them all.
I know them all, man.
Because they're all fucking. Because he lives in Jersey and there's friggin' bumper stickers of them all over the place.
Listen, I have a neighbor. I talk to him every once in a while. He's a really good guy. I don't know anything about him. All right, so anything I'm about to say could or could not be true.
Eagles guy has been ruled out.
No, but this guy could just as easily have a Confederate flag in his house because that's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if a Confederate flag went up the pole one day, and I live right over the river, and I live in South Philly South now. Like all the kids that moved to South Philly because they hated where they grew up, they all live where I live now.
Right.
But still, you live in Jersey. Trump carrying a bazooka. That's on the flag around the corner. So don't blame me. I voted for Trump.
That's a big one.
That's not you saying that.
No. That's not me.
I just want to clear that up.
No, let's just clear that up. Don't blame me. And even if I did, doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah,
I'm okay with the way things went because I have to, move on with my life. I have to actually
wear a shirt that says 2024 on it.
Oh God.
Yeah, we got draft picks. The Republican Party's got draft picks, man. And in 2024, we're going to be the best team ever.
Yeah, right.
And until then, I'm going to wear this shirt.
Oh God.
I should go get like while you can still get them, like a Trump standing on a tank with a bazooka T-shirt and just put it away and just
get it out when you're 60.
20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like, when does it become ironic where I can do it and it'll be funny? Like the Rambo Trump cracks me up. He's such the opposite of a manly man. The idea of a manly man. He talks a good talk, but he's a
Trump.
Fucking sloppy pig that he is. Eats jelly beans and well done steak.
Yeah,
there's some good
fucking
merch.
On it, does he wrap them?
Yeah, he said, what is it? Boiled, was it milk steak and jelly beans? That's what he has. Anyway, any final thoughts?
Tube steak. Tube steak special.
All right.
It's going off the rails.
Yeah, I think it's all off the rails. All right. Thanks for joining us this week. Join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Email us questions and complaints. WrestlingIsHard@gmail.com. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. Don't follow us on Twitter because I'm never on there. I'm not on Instagram either. So not with the wrestling. Not with the Wrestling is Hard account. Oh, I was thinking, should we put out? Yeah, this was something I wanted to talk about. Should we do like a fan vote thing for best of the year? Just put it out there.
Why not?
Like fill in whatever you want.
And the answer is yes.
Right?
Only you would know how high of a risk we were to getting an empty.
Well, how much work do I want to put in? That's the catch.
It's up to you, buddy. I'm all for it, but you got to do the work, so it's your call.
I co-sign.
Let me think about it. 1 month away. Best stuff. All right. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we'll be back here next week.